Hello, so a sweaty hello from Nagasaki Prefecture. It's nice and hot and humid, mushi atsu desu. So today I just wanted to cover off three kind of things that happened since the last time we spoke, which, things are still new. So this will be video number 4 now. So the first one is people that we've met and some of the interaction around that. The second one is the apartment setup, appliances, predecessors, stuff or not, and so forth. And the third one is just a lot of general stuff about life. So the first topic then, the people that we've met. We've met the BOE, we've met our neighbors, or I did, and I'll talk about that quickly. We met the other ALTs, and we met some of our people at the schools. So the BOE, Board of Education, we all work for the BOE here in Amura, or at least the people that are mostly part of the group that I interact with, because we are municipal. So they are our boss, we will get a contract from them, I think actually next week. So when you get there, you're in your formal clothing, and then at some point you're going to get a chance to just stand on one side of the room, and they all kind of get into the other sides and stand and wait. And if you don't know what you're saying, that's also fine. They'll just kind of wait for the cue of Yoroshiku onegai shimasu, and everyone claps, congratulations, you're done. I can confidently say after months and weeks of practice for Japanese studies in general that I was by far the worst out of the whole group, including people who don't speak any Japanese. And it was really just down to nerves, because I wanted to do it perfectly well, and then I just did it perfectly shitty. So don't worry about it too much. It's like 3 sentences and then we were done anyway. We also got a chance just to meet individually the managers, the department head, the superintendent, the whole team's head, and so on. I've made a point after that to, when I meet people in our specific section of the BOE, just to ask their names twice and actually write it down in front of them, because otherwise I'm never going to remember who they are. I'm also doing the same with our schools, so we've started to visit some of our schools. Right now it's summer holidays, so there's some kids sometimes doing some activities and the daycares are running, but for the most part the teachers are there and some are on leave. You get in, and we've also had a chance to go with our counterparts, so other ALTs to their schools, because we went in a little group. My school was really nice. For one school, they made a board at the front with me and the other ALTs' names on it and our flags saying, hello, Philippa Sensei, welcome, with the South African flag, and they put out some guest shoes for us already. That was a really nice touch. We've also had another experience where the principal actually wasn't in the office, and the whole 5-minute conversation just briefly introducing the ALT for that school to the vice principal, the Kyoto Sensei, was through the teacher room's door. So we never even entered the room in the end. It was nothing rude, or not on purposely rude or mean. I think they just kind of realized that they weren't set up to actually have a meeting. And then I think a little bit bizarre, he just didn't let them walk in, so we just stood at the door for a bit. So that was really nice, and we get a chance just to say hi to them. Again, it's a little bit of Japanese if you have any, and the BOE supervisor comes with, so they can help translate. And you have an idea of what your first day is, so when do you arrive. At my school I also had the supervisor show me some of the books that we'll use, so we have Hi Friends, and then there's some other notes and so on. So the school visits are really nice, very easy, and it's nice to know who the people are. Our school also gave us, and now I don't know where it is, a little page with all the principals and vice principals for the entire city, just highlighting yours. So it's nice because I have a little page that I can actually read their names off of and put those back on the little list that I'm writing on my cell phone. The other ARTs that we've met, absolutely fantastic. So I think you have to have a little bit of a type of personality to want to come here in the first place. Just 1 second, my food might be burning. Alright, never mind, we're okay. So the ALT group this side is fantastic, and we also have some interaction with people outside of the town specifically. Actually, one of the people we met gave us the advice to make sure not just make some non-ALT friends, local Japanese and so on, but also make some ALT friends outside of your immediate circle. I have some already, luckily, because of people I know in the area, but I think it adds a lot of value if you can go to the next town and visit people there, join their groups, do their activities now and then, although there's a fair amount of things going on here that you can do as well. So the fourth group of people that I've met were my neighbors. So I have about 22 apartments in our 4 little buildings. I'm the 22nd or the 1st, depending which way you count from, because I'm the first one coming in. So there were 21 other apartments I could meet. So what I did was I bought like single servings of udon noodles at a local supermarket. This was like 64 yen. It's really not very expensive or fancy. And I bought 22 of those. And then after they cooled down in the fridge in the evening, when I saw people started to come back from work, I put it all in a little basket and I actually went door to door. So the reason I did this was, I know that there's an old kind of tradition of Japanese. I think around the world people have this thing of, you know, when you're new, say hi to the new person, or the new person says hi to other people. It's just good to, you know, make a connection with the people that you're living next to. I had a bit of off time after I arrived because we took Nenkyu because there wasn't much to do, and I didn't really like the fact that I didn't have anyone to interact with, and the neighbors that I did see didn't even look at me, like they just straight past. So I made this trip to kind of get into their face and go, hi, I'm new, please notice me and don't ignore me the whole time. It feels rather horrible. So I went up to the first one with my little basket and I'm ringing the bell, and he's got a little video camera. So many people do that so they can actually see the person properly who is visiting them, because sometimes there's a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses which visit, and a lot of people don't want to talk to them too much, I suppose. And NHK, the television company, also visit, and if you have a television, whether or not you're using it or anything similar, I think they want you to pay. I don't know the details though, but anyway. So I ring the doorbell, I'm standing there with my 22 udon packets in the basket, and going like, what am I going to say? And obviously I didn't think about this, they don't open the door, they talk to you through the intercom first. So long story short, my Japanese little sentences were really horrible, you know, konbanwa, sumimasen, watashi wa blah 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 blah, hokko shiteru, ikon shiteru, soshina ga arimasu. So soshina is a kind of unused old Japanese word for like a very valueless gift or something that you can give someone else, like a tissue, or in this case a 64 yen packet of udon. And he actually responded in a way that I didn't understand at all, but he didn't open the door. So I stood there for a while like an idiot, and then I went to the next floor because I didn't want to go to the door next to him because it felt too embarrassing. But they did open, and that was really nice, and they laughed at my little stupid udon gift, but I got to know them. So just for a few seconds I got to see who lives there, and I got to explain to them I just moved into this other apartment as well. Overall, I actually made a note of it on this page, so there's my little map of everyone that I have met. It was a massive success. Two reasons. Number one is I had to introduce myself about 12 times in one evening. Very short sentences, just, you know, hello, this is me, this is where I'm from. Secondly, because since then I now also know some of the people in my area and they know me. So because I'm in the front, they come past my house a lot, or my apartment, and they now actually say hello, which is absolutely fantastic in contrast to how it was before. I actually also have some kids from my schools in my apartment block because the schools are very close, but that's besides the point. So topic one, people I met. Number two, apartment setup. So my apartment was really nice. Actually all the apartments that I've seen so far, and I've visited a few now, are really nice actually. I think we're quite lucky in that way. Each of them are slightly different, you know, sizes and setup, views, things they have. Two of the main big differences though is that I, for instance, had a predecessor who was in this apartment before, and he had one, and maybe they had, like, maybe there were 4 or more people in this apartment for a while. So although it was very clean, I had a lot of stuff in the closets, nice and packed away, but just boxes of things that I never thought I would actually need. Some of this I just didn't know what it was, and when someone explained it to me I went, I definitely need that. But some of this I just honestly don't need. So I have like 23 cups that I don't use because I've already picked out like 6 that I want to keep or something like that. In contrast, some people go into new apartments and they have nothing. So it's a bit tricky to know what you need to get or whatnot, but I will highly suggest that when you move into an apartment, check out everything you have before you go buy stuff. And then what we've also done actually, because I have a car, and I'll touch on that in a second, we drove people who don't have much to our apartments, me and another ALT that arrived in group A, and just kind of told them, look at this stuff, take what you need. And I've gotten rid of about half the stuff in my apartment that I didn't want because other people could use it. Japan is big on recycling, and that's my next topic. But don't throw away stuff if you don't have to. I mean, we're a big community of people and everyone needs something, so try and maybe spread out stuff like that before you throw it away, and don't unnecessarily buy something that you have already. But that's my opinion on that. So recycling. So we got a bunch of information about recycling. Recycling in Japan can be very complex or not. I think once you get it, it's very easy, but when you come here the first time, you have no idea. So we got some posters. It's all in Japanese though, and then we also have a map, well, a grid for dates and specific areas in our city. Basically, there's roughly 3 sections of recycling. So there is burnable, so combustible, non-burnable, non-combustible, and recycling. And recycling goes into cans and glass and so forth, but it's recycling stuff. Burnable is the one that you have the most of, including your food waste, and that normally gets picked up, I think, about twice a week, whereas recycling and non-burnable get picked up once a month. So if you miss that day, you have to keep that recycling for 4 weeks, or take it yourself somewhere, or find someone else to give it to, because I don't think you can just put it outside if it's not the right day. Something that we have here in Umura, one of the predecessors, she's actually leaving now. Her Japanese was really good, and I think she put in a lot of time and effort in terms of getting involved locally as well. She actually translated 2 of the posters for us. So this has got English descriptions on it, so we actually understand what that is and what we're supposed to do with it, along with a few notes about how to use it. I'm happy to share, I suppose, although I think that by city obviously these things are more specific, but this should give you at least a bit of an idea of what's going on. Another thing is that you need certain bags. So for burnable, you need your city specific bag most of the time. We've got 3 sizes, your 15, 20, 40 or 15 or something, I can't remember. There's a pink one, an orange one, and a red one. This is the 20 red one. Yeah, 20 liters. And if it's not in that city's bag or in that specific bag, they're not picking it up. Recycling and non-burnable needs to be in a clear bag because they have to see inside it. And again, wrong bag won't pick it up. Recycling appliances, so rice cooker and a few other things. In general, everything in Japan works with one button. My laundry machine, my washing machine, my laundry machine, my rice cooker, my microwave, and my gas stove all work with kind of one thing that you have to do. There are a lot of options, but normally you can just go big button that looks like it's on, and boom, the thing happens, which is very useful because at first you can't read anything, you have no idea what you're supposed to do. And then lastly, I did my first Amazon Japan purchase, which is one of the ways you can get stuff. We've also gone to a Nitori, which is a little bit like a Japanese IKEA of sorts, although people from America / Canada or wherever IKEA is, well, it's in many places, but people who know IKEA say that it's not as good. But anyway, it's a furniture, homeware kind of store, and it's not the cheapest, but it's not the most expensive either, and it really looks very nice. You want to buy everything when you're there. But anyway, Japan's Amazon is the other option, and the pricing is really good. It is completely in Japanese though, so online you can get it translated on your phone. It might or might not be translated depending what you select. The application isn't translated anyway. And if you search in English compared to searching to Japanese, you don't get all the options either. And Japanese options are normally locally produced, which are cheaper than English, which might be imported. So a bit tricky, but try and get someone to help you with that. I did, and I ended up buying a converter plug that I needed for my shaver and toothbrush because they're both electric, and a large map of Japan, which is currently busy getting flat on the ground here. And it was very easy to pay. They've sent me some emails. I opened up the link. I picked which convenience store I was currently at that time. So I was at a 7-Eleven, and then it just brings up a barcode. You give that to the attendant. They scan it. You pay the amount of money. You're done. And literally the next day it arrived. Once again though, I bought something this size and then a tube, like a map that's rolled up, and I got a 1.5 by 30 centimeter box with these things inside it, with paper for, you know, making the packaging stick, so filling out the box. It's a lot of waste for what I purchased, so that's a little bit bleak. I don't know if you can kind of downsize on that or not, but it was really quick. Okay, so very last thing, Three things which are good. As I said, I have a car, I bought it from my predecessor. It's worth nothing, but the shuck-in, so the registration to allow it on the road, is worth something because that costs a lot of money, and you buy it I think for about two years at a time. So I'm going to pay him pretty much just for the amount of shuck-in that he's already paid, because the car is not specifically valuable. The insurance also doesn't cover the car for any value, only injury of me and other drivers and things like that. So I've also driven with my car to Shimabara from Omura, and that was fantastic. Really pretty. I went to visit one of my friends that side, and I'm looking forward to going around. The trains and buses obviously are also good, so this weekend I'll try to go somewhere. The alcohol conundrums, so alcohol is available kind of 24/7, every convenience store has it. As a foreigner, you almost never actually, I think, have to prove your age, because they know everyone coming here is working most of the time. But zero alcohol for drinking, zero alcohol for biking, motorcycles, bicycles. I don't know if kick scooters are included, but I feel like it might be. So practically speaking, you need someone else to drive you around, slash a train, slash a bus. They also have something called Daiko here, which is you phoned like a good fellas back in South Africa, and then the people can pick you up and take you back, which is apparently cheaper than a taxi. I haven't tried that yet though, but I will at some point. Was there anything else I wanted to share? No, not really. So 1 week in, everyone's kind of settling down. Those are really the main things that we've had to deal with since we started, and I think that's okay. Thank you to everyone who actually watched it and said something nice about it, otherwise I probably wouldn't continue making another video. So I hope this one's good too, and apologies for looking so sweaty. It's because I am.